2024 NFL betting preview, breaking down our best bets for each division. Let's take a look at the NFC West. Quick little look at division futures here. Niners, I mean, come on, baby. Clear faves, minus 210. The Rams, plus 350 there. The Seattle Seahawks, plus 750. And then rounding out the group, the Arizona Cardinals at plus 1,200. Nick, kick us off here with those Arizona Cardinals. What are you eyeing up here for 2024 with this team?
Yeah, guys, actually one of my favorite bets on the NFL futures board. If you've read my season betting preview for Arizona, you know I like the value on the Cards at plus 1,200 to win the division. It's almost blasphemous to say with two 49ers fans in this room with me, but Kyler Murray is here. And now the second coming of Marvin Harrison Jr. is in the league, guys. He's a player that everybody seems to forget in the Offensive Rookie of the Year race. All the hype surrounding Caleb Williams and Malik Neighbors. This guy has been destined for stardom since he was in high school. He's probably the best receiving prospect of this decade, maybe next to Jamar Chase. And he's plus 800 to win the Offensive Rookie of the Year. What are we doing here? He's going to get fed targets from day one in Zona. Kyler Murray is healthy to feed him the football. And I think Arizona, an underrated squad heading into 2024. So I love the value at plus 800 here. If the Bears and Caleb Williams, and we'll get to that later, if they stumble, he's not winning that award. So I'm all over Marvin Harrison Jr. at plus 800 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay, you'll have to excuse me. My heart skipped several beats because I thought your best bet was going to be the Cards to win the division. Marvin Harrison Jr., 8-1 to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. I can get a little bit more behind. So thank you for pivoting away from the way you started there. All right, moving right along here. I've got the Rams, and I'm looking in the backfield here for my 2024 Rams pick. There's a lot of noise coming out of Rams camp about one Blake Corum, the running back out of Michigan. Even lately, splitting first-team reps with Kyren Williams, most recently joint practices with the Cowboys, generating so much talk in fantasy circles of being the best handcuff option out there. And speaking of Kyren Williams, look, we know the Rams run the ball a lot, 27.4 times per game last season per the great site teamrankings.com. And what do we know about Kyren Williams? Hate to see it, hate to say it, but he's an injury waiting to happen. Foot fracture in camp ahead of his rookie season, which resurfaced in week 1 of that rookie campaign. High ankle sprain last season led to IR and missing week 7 to week 12. And that's not even the whole injury rundown with this dude, man. Thing is, Kyren is probably going to miss some game time, and Blake Corum is looking damn good to McVay. The way McVay has gushed about Blake Corum this summer, I wish my own family talked about me that way. He was a stud at Michigan. I think he's going to be a damn good player on Sundays. So I'm looking at Blake Corum over 500.5 rushing yards this season. Many outlets projecting this dude easily eclipses this number. Fantasy Pros, Pro Football Network. Yeah, really loving this more and more as I keep going. So keep an eye out on Blake Corum this year. Keep it going, Tony. You are on the Seattle Seahawks here.
Yeah, I like the Seahawks to make the playoffs. You can get a really nice number still in the market now, plus 184 on them. This is a team, when you look at what they did last year, there's no doubt their defense was the problem. If you look at their DVOA ranking, FTN Fantasy and Aaron Schatz and those guys over there put out those rankings. A lot of professional bettors use them. They were 28th on defense. Only 4 teams in the league had a worse defense than them. Offensively, DVOA, top 10 rushing, top 10 passing. They've got a trio, perhaps the best receiving trio in the league. So there's no doubt they had one big glaring problem last year. It was on defense, and they've addressed it. Mike McDonald has come in from the Ravens, arguably the best defensive coordinator in the league last year. He's now your head coach. You've got rid of Bobby Wagner. He can still play against the run, but he was a huge liability when teams were passing, especially like on third down. If he's still on the field, he was just had a target on his back. Gotten rid of him. They brought in some free agents. I like the Seahawks here to make the playoffs. And plus, the NFC is kind of wide open. When you start slotting out, this team's definitely going to make the playoffs. This team will probably win the division. It's pretty open for those last couple wild card spots. I think the Seahawks will be right in the mix. And when you showed those NFC West odds at the beginning, the Rams had like much lower odds than the Seahawks. It would lead you to believe they're a much better team. And I think the Rams and Seahawks are actually pretty close to each other in terms of talent and coaching, et cetera.
All right, Steve, let's wrap up the division. And we've sort of earmarked one team per division to sort of open up and have maybe a little bit of discourse on. So, guys, if any of you have, any thoughts on your own bet for any of these teams we've designated, hop in or push back on, like, if Steve has a terrible bet for the Niners, which
I will, don't worry.
We can hop in and push back. But Steve, you're on the Niners here, and as you know, half the panel here is Niners Nation. So let's see what you got.
Okay, so here's the thing we need to clarify as well. You guys are all like professional sports cappers and handicappers. I'm just a degenerate bettor. Like, let's not get carried away here, okay? I'm looking for something that's plus money and not like plus 100 here. I want to find some value on this team. We know how the season ended for the Niners last year. After you lose a Super Bowl, you either fall apart or you get motivated and you climb back up. When you have a leader like George Kittle, when you have McCaffrey, when you have Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch in there leading the ship, I think the Niners do bounce back. I think they bounce back in a big way. And that's why I like them at plus 320 to be the number one seed in the NFC going into the playoffs. They play all the teams ahead of them, Detroit, Green Bay, Dallas, Chicago even. They have a heads-up match against all of them. So you win those, you take care of business. I think they're going to cruise through their division. Ayuk will be there. Trent Williams will be there. They're the best roster, the best team in the NFC. And hopefully they get back to the Lombardi land.
Yeah, I mean, look, like, you're speaking my language here. I don't have a ton to add. I'm optimistic about the Brandon Ayuk situation, the Trent Williams situation. I like a lot the Pearsall pick. I don't think they would have drafted him if they didn't see a dude that can fit in that Shanahan offense. Gav, you're absolutely right. Me and Tony absolutely love that. Yeah.
Here's the thing. I was trying to find something for it, right? The MVP market isn't quite there. I don't think Brock Purdy can get it done. No. I don't know if CMC can get it done with Brock Purdy there and with the other. I know, but he's not a quarterback, right? This is the problem. I don't want to bet their win total. It's, whatever, minus 110. Win the division's a joke. Win the NFC, whatever. I don't know, because when playoffs get here, it's a different beast. You give me plus 320 on this team, what I think is the best roster in the NFC. Sign me up.